delete the
Hey
last 30
guys,
seconds.
it's Infinity Shoguns here. We're doing another top favorite fights in an anime video. Today we're doing Vinland Saga. You might have heard of it. It's fucking amazing. Um, I mean, just go fucking watch it if you haven't.
Let me give the synopsis real quick.
Or if you don't feel like
The
waiting, you can read it.
I'll read the manga. I recommend the manga highly. Vinland Saga is anime that takes place in the early thousands, I guess you want to call it. It's about a Viking named Thors and his son, Thorfinn. Mostly Thorfinn is the main character, but it takes place in the Viking era during a large conflict happening between different groups, such as the Danish and the English, and the war that's happening for the conquering of England, and how this character named Thorfinn develops after he loses some people in his life, and whether he's changed for the better
Remember his
or
father,
not is
because he
really
fucking
perspective.
died.
So you just spoiled the entire thing. You just spoiled the
We
I
beginning.
don't put
mean, you
spoiler
just
warning
spoiled that
in.
he fucking lost people in his life. And I mean, we're gonna talk about spoiler shit in this video. I mean, if you fucking clicked on this not expecting spoilers, just like,
Like, there's something wrong with
you're
you.
Alright,
stupid.
and
Like, we're
so
going full in, like,
I,
and everyone
I
dies.
guess I was gonna wait till I give the spoiler warning to say it though, but now I gotta put it in the
Oh,
video. Now I gotta edit it
Just
in.
give it at the
Now
beginning.
I gotta edit it in.
I
Yeah,
mean, you just put the words spoiler
spoilers.
warning.
Okay, whatever.
Or just say
Hey,
fuck it.
can I?
Because, I mean, it's literally like a favorite fights video, bro. Like,
Alright,
how are we
so
not gonna spoil it?
Thorfinn's character is developed through an entire series by the people he meets and is around, the ideologies that are changing the world at the same time, and how he changes with it. It's a really good read. I read the manga personally. These who have watched the anime, the first 25 episodes. It's all on Amazon Prime if you want to go watch it there, or whatever you gotta, how to say, get it how it is any other way possible. But
we'll
yeah,
watch it
Hey,
later.
Kevin. This man said watch the first 25 episodes
I think it's 24
like they're
actually.
getting a season 2.
Yeah, it's really
They
well.
are. Leave them
It's
alone.
it's a really good anime. But this is our top fight from all of our opinions. Our top three technically, but really from each other's point of view. But I think we can already agree these probably deserve to be top three, or at least top five. The first person to speak, I think personally, can I go first because I have the earliest fight in the series.
I don't
Go
give a fuck.
ahead.
Alright. My fight starts at the beginning, towards the beginning of the show in the first 5 episodes, or really longer. And where the character Thor's has to take on Askeladd and his crew. At this point in the story, Thorfinn's character development hasn't really developed yet, as his more catalyst hasn't happened yet. And we're focusing on Thor's, his father, who's a fighter and is called out to go join the war for the Vikings.
The
With the
catalyst
Vikings.
is his father
They-
dying.
Can I finish talking, nigga? Damn.
Yes.
Can't say shit nowadays. But so the entire fight takes place between two ships in a canyon. There are bow and arrows aimed above them. And Thor's, even though he brings a large group with him, they're young and inexperienced, so he doesn't ask them to fight, nor does he want them to fight anyway. So Thor's takes on the entire band of army men on his own without a sword for the most part. And because he believes that being a true warrior doesn't involve having a sword, a true warrior doesn't need his blade. He ends up taking on around at least 20 people, I would say so, without a blade in his hand, just jawing them and knocking them out within one hit, or at least curving them around to, hurt themselves. And the fight is pretty quick, it's pretty epic. Thor shows his strength and his dominance on the battlefield by being the guy who looks handicapped but is really the strongest person there. He really handicapped himself for their purpose anyway. And then it leads to a climactic battle between the character Thor's and the semi-antagonist or anti-hero, I guess you could say.
No, the
Askeladd.
antagonist.
And he could be antagonist or anti-hero, whether you depending on your perspective. Askeladd, who we just met recently. And Askeladd in his fight with Thor's, even though Askeladd brings up a great front and he attacks really well, Thor's shows actual tactical ability and the fact that he basically let him get the upper hand just to destroy him at the end and get the upper hand, reverse the blade and switch it. towards the end. Essentially, he lets him swing at him until he breaks his sword, taking his sword, leaving there only being one blade on the battlefield. Now, the fight does lead to unfortunate outcomes. I won't leave on details on that, exactly what happens, but as Kevin actually said, yeah, he fucking dies. It's not fair, but it happens. And nonetheless, Thor's, even though we only met him for this short period of time in the series, he is amazing. He is awesome. He's one of the coolest characters in the show, and it was disappointing to see him go so early just from that. But for the time that we did have, he showed his shit, and he went hard. Y'all probably watching the clip on the video right now, but he went hard on that. And Thor's appreciation for being such a badass for such a short period of time. Anyone else talking up? No.
Did we mention that he dies yet?
Yeah. Other than Thor's fucking dying, the fight itself is very well animated, which all of our fights are. Like, of course, we're not gonna give you guys any like bummy fights. We're not gonna say any seven deadly sins, sadly. But the fight itself is very entertaining. It's very quick pace, like a shonen fight should be, but it still has meaning behind it. Like, it's still, the fight is happening for a reason, other than just two niggas fighting. And the fact that I just missed the layup, the fact that like they even had Thor's sadly pass away that early in the show goes, just goes to show that like the stakes are actually higher, and that the characters that we may be fond of aren't exactly safe.
So also, Thor's dies.
Yes.
Hey, damn, yeah. We got it the first two times. Right,
but see, we're just making sure that the audience gets it.
Next one
like really, truly understands that this man dies.
You know what? I'm gonna just slap a picture of it happening, just because of that.
Like, the first time I saw him die, I was like,
damn, that nigga dead.
And then I rewatched it, and I was like,
damn, the nigga dead.
Wow.
They really killed this man. This thing was cold as hell. I was mad.
Yeah.
I was mad. I
if you kept him alive, he basically would have been like the answer to everything. Like, kind of like if you read JJK, Gojo's kind of like the answer to everything. That's basically Thor's.
He's Batman.
No, Batman is not the answer.
Batman.
Please stop.
He just has things.
Video.
Thor's would knock the fuck out of Black.
Whoa.
Yes, he would.
I don't believe you.
And although we are all fans of Batman, I am all for Batman slander.
I don't think so. But
I'm all for.
We can talk about that later in private, maybe for a video or whatever.
Maybe said in private, just
hit the next person. Kevin.
We're not talking about this in private, okay?
Kevin, it's your turn to speak. It's your fight. I'm trying to hurry and get this video done, so you better hurry and get this shit done.
Next is my fights, which is Askeladd. No, not Askeladd. Fuck. I mean, Thorkel versus Thorfinn. Just a little synopsis. Thorkel, without saying too much, is a relative of Thorfinn, which he doesn't realize until towards the end of the fight. And basically, the fight is
like the carbonation and stuff,
just very one-sided. Like it switches sides very quickly, but it's very one-sided for the first half, and then it just snaps to Thorkel just beating Thorfinn's ass. So it's like the fight is very dynamic in that sense, where it's like it's not just one person just wailing on the other one. Like Thorfinn and Thorkel, as you guys are probably looking at right now, are two very different fighters. Like Thorkel is very, very tough, very tanky, but very strong, and he has a lot of speed and power behind his blows as well. And Thorfinn is more of a quick assassin type, getting those vital shots, vital blows and shit, like that. But even with that, the fight could go either way. And I'm not going to say who wins the fight, but the outcome of the fight is something that's you don't really expect it to happen. It's like, damn, they really just did that. But like over the course of the show, like it really makes you like respect and also somewhat fear Thorkel because he is an actual realistic threat, and he's not just some musclehead either. Like over the course of the fight, you will see that Thorkel is very smart and he knows what he's doing, even with as much of a meathead as he seems to be. And Thorfinn actually performs very well against such a very powerful foe. Fights well animated, like all the fights that we're talking about, and it's just very entertaining to see. That's pretty much it. And also, Thorko is like this third best character in the fucking show, so yeah.
Yeah, I really like seeing those two be pitted against each other because, for the most part, I thought it was going to be mostly like Askeladd versus Thorkel focus, which there was like some of that, but
Never
not
fight.
as much, really.
It's just surprising, but it makes sense why.
Right,
Because that's not a fight he can win.
right. I mean, it's not a fight anybody can win. So, except for Thor's. But, it's just it's nice to see kind of like those contrasting battle types, fight each other. The quick versus the brute. Both of them are very, intelligent in terms of like their battle sense. But of course, Thorkel just has much more experience. And when it comes down to it, it's just a really fun fight. Thorkel, he has this personality where he kind of, is like the joking, like not exactly like Escanor. He's not like super prideful. He just like is kind of more so like Goku, where he just wants a good fight and wants it to be interesting. He likes the challenge, but it's not as like annoying because there are actual stakes. Like he loses, or at least in like a previous fight with Thorfinn, he lost like a finger. I mean, he's like super chill about it. He doesn't really care. But it's just like you know, there are actual stakes in this, and it can really go either way. Like,
And an eye.
yeah, yeah, but it's just pretty awesome.
It's too quiet space. Alright. That was good.
All right, I guess I'll finish us off with my favorite fight in Vinland Saga. Now,
Thorkel is 56 years old.
Burrow,
Yes.
he doesn't look a day over 30. Wow.
Probably that. Just continue. Just letting that be known.
My favorite fight is Askeladd killing King Swen. I mostly like the
Damn,
entire.
Out with this shit.
Yeah. This is basically the last episode of Vinland Saga. My bad if. Well, I mean, no, actually, not my bad. If you got to this point in the video, you knew it was up. But yeah, I really like the whole sequence and how it plays out. The whole like thing with Canute was like the king just wanted Canute dead, basically. And Canute is the king's son, or one of his sons. And we on this journey we get to see Canute grow into more of this king figure, this respectable man. And as like when they meet King Swen, we find out a lot. Like Asgard is from Wales, and King Swen is planning on attacking Wales. And basically, Asgard has to make a choice. Either he kills Canute and he saves Wales, or he doesn't kill Canute and Wales is attacked, and everybody would basically die. And Asgard is like, fuck all of this bullshit. And he fucking kills him like the mad lad that he is. And, he goes on this rampage. And now he's not actually going insane, but this is all an act so that he can allow Canute to like take up his father's place immediately and become the true king. But the action sequence is so great. You just get to see Askeladd just go all out on the guards and the nobility that are there, killing effortlessly, everybody who approaches him, and at the end of the fight, he is killed by Canute, because Canute has to be the one to bring down the murderer of the king in order to, rightfully take up the throne. And it's really emotional. I don't think sad is the right emotion to go with it because, Askeladd, he's not a good person. He is the one who, you know, killed Thor's, he's not like some saint. The things that he does, we do find out he does have a good reason, but, you know, reasoning can only justify the bloodshed that he's caused to, only so far, right? And, you have this very touching moment where he's talking to Thorfinn, and Thorfinn's whole point of going along with them is so he could eventually be strong enough to kill Askeladd in fair combat and get revenge for his father. And Askeladd is just like, what are you going to do when I die? How are you going to move on with your life? How are you going to become a true warrior like your father was? How are you going to honor him in life? And, it's a great lead up to what the second season may offer us. And it's just beautiful because Askeladd is just this Chad character. And he's pretty much like the only person that I think comes close to understanding what a true warrior in the way that Thor is meant it to be. And I mean, it's just fucking awesome.
Now, to be fair, Askeladd didn't exactly practice those principles, but he understood them. Let's make that distinction because I got time for our three fans in the comments to be like, well, that's wrong. No.
Yeah, Askeladd himself was not a true warrior. Yes. He was not. He understood what it was, and he did his best. In my opinion, I think he did his best to try to make Canute into a true warrior. Mm-hmm. But, he himself, by the time I think in life he found out what a true warrior was, it was already too late for him, and he had given up trying to pursue it.
Right. But he most definitely fulfilled his role of being one of the best antagonists in anime.
He's such a good antagonist. I don't think he's a bad person all the time. Yes, he convinced me where it's like
the entire village.
Yeah, he's such a good character. Fuck that village.
What?
Wow. What the fuck?
Okay, we're just going to.
I ain't know none of them. I ain't know none little people. I'm sorry, man.
Disregard what he just said.
I'm an Eren Yeager fan. Oh my god. I'm just playing. I'm joking. Kind of.
No, he's not.
I was joking about the Eren stuff. I was ready for
the kind of.
I was joking about the Eren stuff, but the Askeladd stuff, I just don't dislike him. I don't hate the things he do. I'd be like, damn, they really gotta die for this nigga to live. That's tough.
Yeah, it's like
I see it through.
Like he's a great antagonist. Doesn't mean that he's not likable. Like that's very apparent. Like Askeladd's without a doubt my favorite character on the show. He just does what he does so well. It's like he's such a good antagonist that like Cameron just said, like it almost justifies what he does. Because he's such a good character.
These two are mass murderers.
So I'm just saying, like,
it makes it even easier to like actually like him, even though he does all this bad shit. It's because everyone else is doing bad shit too. Like, we acting like Thorfinn, the main character, isn't a fucking serial killer.
Yes.
I didn't say that Thorfinn was
As
a
we
good
do with
person.
any
either.
innocent people.
Well,
No
Thorkel is
no
even
one
worse.
here is a good person.
Exactly. So, like, out of all the bad people, I probably like him the most.
All right.
Man, I think that's enough. This video gonna be too long to edit. Alright, this is Infinity Shogun. We'll probably pop up another one of these soon. Catch y'all later. It's Cam. They're not gonna finish the rest of the
We're not
outro.
making another video.
Watch Vinland
It's not
Saga.
that fun.
Read the manga. Bye, gold. Bye.